Let's now begin with the second mini module, inventory management. In order to develop an understanding of inventory management, it is critical that you understand various areas involved in effective management of inventory. At the end of this session, you will be able to describe inventory management and its importance, define max-min inventory control, its types and ordering rules, describe how order quantities are calculated, explain how to assess stock status and data needed to assess the stock status, describe shelf life, discuss the use of FIFO, and describe supply methods. Let's begin by developing our understanding about inventory management, and its importance. What is inventory? Inventory is the usable stock of health commodities available in the country. Simply speaking, it is the stock on hand available for use or distribution. What is inventory control? Inventory control is the activities and techniques of maintaining the desired stock levels of commodities. Inventory management is the process by which the accumulation of stock is optimized so that a program can satisfy its customers' demands for the delivery of a required quantity and quality of products at the right time and the minimum cost to the program. What is the importance of inventory management? Inventory management is important because it generates evidence for early detection of problems and better decision making, ensures availability of health commodities, increases efficient use of available resources, saving money by avoiding overstocks and expiries, reducing storage and management costs, and increases customer satisfaction. Inventory control is part of inventory management. Now that you understand inventory management, let's look at inventory control systems. An inventory control system informs the storekeeper when to order or issue, how much to order or issue, and how to maintain an appropriate stock level of all commodities to avoid shortages and oversupply. Example of a simple inventory control system is a fuel gauge which informs the driver about the amount of fuel he or she has in the tank at any time and helps in deciding when and how much more gas to purchase. Similarly, a logistics inventory control system is like a fuel gauge in which it informs the storekeeper when to order or issue, how much to order or issue, and how to maintain an appropriate stock level of commodities to avoid shortages and oversupply. Another area that you must understand is max-min inventory control. Max-min refers to maximum and minimum inventory control. A max-min inventory control system is designed to ensure that the quantities in stock fall within an established range where stock levels should always remain between a minimum and maximum level. The max-min levels are expressed in months of stock and they indicate how long the commodities last. The maximum stock level is the level of stock above which inventory levels should not rise under normal conditions. The maximum stock level is set as a number of months of stock, and these number of months indicate how long commodities will last. The minimum stock level is the lowest level of stock considered acceptable. The min-max inventory control system and its applications can be represented using this graphics. With the max, min, EOP, and lead time predefined, storekeepers need to assess stocks and submit orders so that replenishments are received just before the stock level reaches the minimum level. Thus, the order time should be lead time earlier than the time the minimum stock level is reached. For example, if the lead time is 1 month and the minimum stock level is 3 months, the order needs to be placed 1 month before the minimum is reached, that is, at 4 months of stock. The quantity to order shall be calculated to fill the pipeline to the maximum stock level. Generally, the order shall be placed to the supplier. The three most common max-min inventory control systems are forced ordering system, continuous review system, and standard system. For each system, a process and set of formulas are used to determine how much to order and when to order. Let's look at each of the systems. Forced ordering system is a system which requires the storekeepers to order quantities of all commodities to the maximum level at the end of every review period, as long as the stock level is below the maximum. Continuous review system is a system which requires a review of stock levels each time the stock of each commodity is issued. If the stock is at or below the minimum stock level, enough stock is ordered to bring the levels up to the maximum stock level. Standard system is the system for restocking commodities at the end of the review period for only those commodities that are at or below the minimum stock level. The basic difference between the three rules of max-min inventory control systems is the trigger or timing for ordering or issuing. Each version of the max-min inventory control system has a different rule for ordering and resupply. Ordering rule for forced ordering max-min suggests that all stock levels must be reviewed at the end of an established review period and all stock is reordered enough to bring the level up to the maximum stock level. Ordering rule for continuous review max-min suggests that stock level is reviewed after each issue. If the stock level is at or has fallen below the minimum stock level, order enough stock to bring the level up to the maximum stock level. If it is above the minimum stock level, then no order is placed. Ordering rule for standard max-min suggests that at the end of an established review period, all stock levels are reviewed. For only those items that are at or below the minimum stock level, stock is ordered to bring the levels up to the maximum stock level. If it is above the minimum stock level, no order is placed. Let's now learn a new term called emergency order point. Emergency order point or EOP is a level of stock that triggers an emergency order. It can be reached at any point during the review period. The EOP must be lower than the minimum stock level. An emergency order shall be placed if the stock level falls below the emergency order point, that is EOP, at any point in time. Now let's learn about assessing stock status. The assessment of stock status reveals the stock levels of commodities, that is, determines if commodities are available or not and how long the available ones will last. Here are the key aspects of assessing stock status. Once the maximum and minimum stock levels are established and a max-min inventory control system implemented, inventory is assessed regularly to make sure that it stays within those levels and that there is enough stock to meet customer needs. Stock status of commodities need to be assessed regularly to make decisions related to resupply and to manage inventory. Storekeepers must turn logistics data into information to make decisions and then use this data to determine if stock is available for dispensing or issuing and if there is a need for ordering. A Logistics Management Information System or LMIS, which will be discussed later in this module, provides the storekeeper with the data needed to assess and control inventory and make informed decisions on the status of stock levels. In this section, we will be learning about how to calculate the average monthly consumption or AMC. Stock status is usually expressed in months of stock. By indicating stock status in months, logistics managers are able to ascertain how long supplies will last. To assess stock status, the two data elements required are stock on hand and average monthly consumption. Let's look at each of them. Stock on hand refers to quantities of usable stock, items that are unusable or not considered as part of stock on hand. They are considered losses to the system. We have discussed about AMC in module 1.1 and here we are giving an example on the use of AMC, the average quantity of a commodity used per month calculated using the most recent dispense to user or issue data over the last 3 months. In logistics management, your job is to turn data and numbers into information that can be used to make decisions. One of the most important decisions a logistician must make is assessing how many months of stock on hand or an inventory will last. To determine months of stock on hand, a simple formula is used as depicted on the screen. The formula is designed to use logistics data to inform that decision. When you assess stock status, time is an essential factor. Using the given formula, let's now learn about how and when we will order commodities for any store. For all versions of max-min inventory control systems, the storekeeper can calculate the quantity to order using the formula shown on screen. With this formula, the maximum quantity of stock is equal to the maximum months of stock multiplied by the average monthly consumption. Max-min inventory control cannot be used effectively for non-full supply commodities because usually orders cannot be filled to the max. When commodities are in non-full supply, they may be rationed based on a number of criteria including access to alternative sources of the commodity, disease patterns, and existing stock levels. Let's now solve another case. The distribution of tablet X by a health facility in last 3 months was 200, 250 and 300. Closing balance of tablet X is 150 on indent preparation date. Now please calculate the indent quantity for next 3 months. The options are provided for you on the screen. The correct answer is 600. On the screen, you can see how we calculated the result. Now that you are familiar with the formula about how and when to order commodities for any store, let's now learn about shelf life and how to check shelf life. So, what do you understand by shelf life? Shelf life is the official period of time from the date of manufacturing and the date of expiration mentioned by the manufacturer with prescribed storage conditions. How do we check shelf life? Prior to understanding the methods to determine the shelf life of products, we must take into account two elementary concepts: the expiration date and the best by date. The expiration date is indicated on perishable products with biological risks, meaning its consumption after that date can generate some degree of toxicity. This date depends largely on factors such as optimal storage conditions, microbiological criteria, or oxidation. On the other hand, the best by date, which is applicable to more durable and stable products, indicates when a product begins to lose its physical qualities such as color, smell or taste, but its consumption remains safe and presents no microbiological risk for the consumer. The use of antioxidants can help delay the best by date of a product. Let's now learn first expired, first out or FEFO. FEFO is a term used in the field of inventory management to describe a way of dealing with the logistics of products that have a limited shelf life. These items include perishable products or consumer goods with a specified expiration date. The product with a deadline for the next intake will be the first to be served or removed from stock. FEFO is majorly used in the pharmaceutical and chemical industries where expired dates are calculated based on a batch expire date or shelf lifetime. A system of writing all dates down of every product is impractical and time consuming, particularly when the majority of products will leave the store far before their expiry dates. Instead, the only way to keep track of expired dates is to regularly check items, perform markdowns when necessary. The supply method is generally of two types, namely push and pull, but let's also look at rationing. Pull or requisition system is a supply method where lower level place demand to upper level supply source according to needs, projection, stock on hand, consumption trend, then upper level process the supply considering their own stock and the requisition from the lower level. Push or allocation system is a supply method by which upper level determines the quantity of supply to the lower level considering stock and consumption trend of the lower level. Note that when there is not enough stock at a supply source, the supplier can determine the issue quantity proportionately, and this is called rationing. This can be applied to both pull and push systems. Let's now study a case on FEFO. Reorder the cartons displayed on the screen according to the FEFO method. The correct ordering is displayed on the screen. This brings us to the end of this mini module, Inventory Management. In this session, you have learned about inventory management, its importance, and control systems. Max-min inventory control, its types, and ordering tools, assessing stock status, and data needed to assess the stock status. When to order, shelf life, and how to check shelf life. FEFO and maintaining FEFO for commodities and supply methods. You may now attempt the ungraded knowledge checks for this session.